The Toronto Blue Jays' next move has been revealed. As in a surprising turn of events, Ross Atkins has come out and revealed some very interesting information as it pertains to Bo Bichette's future in Toronto following the Jays extending Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just a couple of days ago. We're going to break down what he said and discuss what this means going forward, as well as break down some interesting comments from both Vladdy and Ross Atkins surrounding the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension, as Ross Atkins hinted at the Jays' master plan going forward. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. A bunch to go over today. But before we get into it, if you're part of the 71% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable, so thank you guys for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jays are coming off of a massive win against, of course, the Boston Red Sox in extra innings. Jeff Hoffman was a beast, all these different things. But we kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit was the Toronto Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He was officially extended, but lost in that even more was Ross Atkins coming out and speaking out about Bo Bichette and his future in Toronto. And I had a video about this yesterday morning surrounding Bo Bichette and how the first domino was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But Ross Atkins came out and said the interest in extending Bo Bichette is definitely there to talk about negotiations. It's also our vision for them to continue to play together, talking about Bo and Vladdy. We will do everything in our power to see if we can line up. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a big quote because obviously, there was rumors about how the Jays, coming into this season, we had Kike Matheson on the, one of our videos, and he was saying on one of my videos, he doesn't think either of them are going to return, and that, that's how things were at the start of spring training, and he was right. And now we're having the conversation after Ross Atkins extended, and of course everybody else, extended Vladimir Guerrero Jr., that now Bo Bichette is seemingly going to be extended here in the near future as well. Again, Ross Atkins says the interest is there and their vision is to see them playing together. And Bo Bichette is, of course, now, in the final year of his contract. So this isn't something that's going to linger for multiple years. Hopefully the Jays can win this season. Bo Bichette has a great year. I think Bo's probably going to play it out just because of his bad year last year to play his value back up. But it seems like I mentioned in the video yesterday, this Vladdy contract, it changes everything for Bo Bichette's future. Bo has said he wanted to be in Toronto. He said just a couple days ago that he wants to be a Blue Jay for life, that the Jays haven't approached him with an extension yet, but that was a couple days ago. And following this from, Hazel May, from Ross Atkins, it makes a lot of sense. It's our vision to see them play together. And he spoke out in the team's negotiations with Bo Bichette. You can see fans now are saying, get back in the negotiating room and lock Bichette up too. And you got to get back in the negotiation room. I think locking down Bo Bichette, if you can come out and lock down both Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this season, or even heading into the offseason, but I would like to see it done this season. But regardless, that not only completely revises the competitive window for this Toronto Blue Jays team, which has already been a little bit, jumped since the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension, of course, him being under contract for, a ton of years, 14 at $500 million, so 15 more, 15 years, including this year. The Jays are in a good spot if they can extend Vladdy. Obviously, this core hasn't seen a ton of success. They haven't won a playoff game yet, but if they can continue to build with this team, you have Andres Jimenez, you have Dalton Varsho, build around the edges, similar to what they did in 2021 with Marcus Semien and some of the other guys and the additions they made there, Robbie Ray. If they can continue to do that and you get Bo Bichette locked up, you can just start to build around them. You have tons of chances then to be competitive. And you can see this here from, a bunch of different, and people are talking about it. I don't think there was any way that Bo, this is from, I believe it was Curtis Joseph, any way that Bo was going to sign if they didn't lock Vladdy up. Bo wants to play for a winner. And this is, of course, Caleb Joseph, a former catcher in the MLB for the Orioles and the Jays a little bit there in the 2020 COVID season as well, the COVID run. It makes total sense to me. They were not going to extend Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, unless they got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extended. It didn't really make sense unless they were to overpay heavily. We know Bo wants to pay with Vladdy. Vladdy wants to play with Bo. They want to win together, and Bo certainly, at the top of his priority list, wants to win baseball games and win a World Series. And if he thinks they can do that with the Jays, A, let's prove it this year. You have your core for now. And B, at least you now have Vladdy extended. So this team, is going to be competitive for a while. And you see this here. Why wouldn't Bo want to say, now that Vladdy is on board for the rest of his career, together they could rule the galaxy? Once again, it comes down to dollars. Will be interesting to see. A year ago, I thought there was a 0% chance Bo stays. Now I'm at 50-50. I'm at like 70-30. I really think Bo Bichette is going to be locked up. I think this is a part of the front office's plan. Lock these two guys up. We obviously know they came up together. The front office is very familiar with them. And Bo's not going to be nearly as expensive as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm hoping Bo, $250, $300 million over however many years, 12 years, whatever it ends up taking. Maybe less years, similar to a Willy Adames extension, but more money and maybe more term. But regardless of it, you're going to be in a very good spot if you extend Bo Bichette. You got Vladdy extended, and now with the comments coming out from Ross Atkins, Makes a ton of sense. Their vision is to see them playing together. And man, oh man, I mean, you look at his stats at Fenway Park, he's putting up a 976 OPS. You look at, again, the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. contract being made official. This is a monumental moment in franchise history. That's what Mark Shapiro said. The writing is on the wall for me to extend Bo Bichette. And the number right now would be very confusing because he's coming off of the worst year of his career. It's a weird time. Once the season ends, it's going to be a lot harder to bring him back simply because of, 29 other teams are going to be vowing for his services. But man, oh man, I really think that Bo Bichette, who aside from last year is a perennial 4-win player, he is a guy who has improved his defense tenfold. And that's something that hasn't really been talked about enough, is how good his defense has been. We'll have a video on that coming out for you guys soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Tons of videos coming out. But get the job done. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Would you extend Bo Bichette? What number would you give him? And I think that the writing is on the wall at this point. But let's dive into some other things now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed his contract. It was made official yesterday afternoon. Probably have another video on that coming out as well. But Mark Shapiro came out and spoke out. We heard some things. There's going to be an official press conference and everything like that on Monday when they play the Braves, like I've been mentioning. That night game is going to have a bunch of different things. I'm hoping the fans, we should all give him a standing ovation. If you're at Rogers Center, it's going to be electric. Still waiting for him to hit his first home run. Coming off a 5-hit night yesterday, or 3-hit night yesterday, sorry, not 5-hit night. But he said, it was always my goal to be here, and I feel like I accomplished that. Asked what the toughest part of the process was. He said, like I always say, trust in the process, have faith that the outcome was going to be good. Thank God everything went well. And he said, trust God. My dad told me to trust God and to get the last penny I could from the organization, which you got to respect the honesty. At the end of the day, he did get every last penny he could. He was going out. He was talking to different media sources saying he'd sign everywhere. He'd consider all the different teams. He initially said after the February 18th deadline on a podcast that he would be not re-signing with the Blue Jays during the season, that he'd go to the offseason. That was clearly all just PR tactics to get the last dollar from the Jays. It worked. He got the last dollar from the Jays. And now it's on the Jays to actually come out and be a good baseball player and to really help this team propel. And he also said, you can see here from Keegan said, Vladdy's big Toronto press conference will happen when the Jays return to Toronto on Monday. Media here in Boston will speak with Vladdy today. And again, we got some of the comments. That's where we got some of the, Bo Bichette comments as well. So shout out to Hazel for that question. But man, oh man, is it going to be an exciting next few days for the Toronto Blue Jays. And guys, we are one game away. Guess we're one game away from a sweep against an AL East rival before you play Baltimore and then head back home to play the Atlanta Braves. But Bo Bichette, seems like an extension is looming. You have George Springer, that's who's baseball savant. You compare George Springer savant on the right to George Springer savant this year. An absolutely unbelievable jump. Everything is going well for the Jays. And most importantly, Vladdy is under contract for the next 14 years. You have Bo Bichette, who crushes the ball at Fenway, hopefully continue doing that tomorrow. You have him on the brink, hopefully, of an extension here over the next few weeks, depending on how things go. Again, I would presume that the Bo Bichette contract extension is going to linger a little bit, the conversation there, because Bo is coming off of the worst season of his career. But at the end of the day, all signs are pointing up. The Jays are back. The Jays are first in the AL East. The Jays have a chance to sweep today. We'll have a video following tonight's game. Thank you guys for watching.